I bet on a guy who's 6'3", who can sling the ball all over the field.
And this is your number
one
guy.
And CJ Stroud, who's my number one quarterback. I would say it's a better arm than Bryce Young. It's a really good arm. Like on the scale of 1 to 10, it's like an 8.5 or 9. Bryce Young's like a 7 and an 8.
I think Bryce is like an 8. He's an 8.5.
No, I think you're a little underselling it. Again, this guy's not Anthony Richardson with the arm strength. Just raw on a foot.
Or Will Levis.
Correct. When he has the clean pocket, same thing with Bryce Young. When it's clean, and it's clean a lot because these guys are on stacked teams. Yeah. He's a nightmare. But this is something that leads into the bad thing. I'm watching him and I'm like, okay, you can move. You don't have to just stand there. You don't have to just check it down. You could kind of pat the ball. You can roll out. And he looks like a good athlete. He didn't run, which pissed me off because I was like, I really want to see what you're going to run. Because I'm guessing it's 4.6, 4.7. Because against Georgia this isn't the same quarterback I saw like the rest of the year. It was like a guy who was just like, okay, I'm going to look here. Georgia, he's like, oh, let me get out of the field. Marvin Harrison, run left. Run right on Keely Ringo. Let me throw a dime. Yeah. I love when he throws on the run, but he doesn't do a lot of it. He just sits back there like a statue. But is he a statue in your book?
No, he's definitely an athlete, and I had that in my concept.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
Why can't you run more? Why can't you create more?
It was kind of, for me, it was like he makes a lot of good plays, and especially throws on tight windows sometimes. But it's like, let me see you go create a little bit. And against Georgia, against the most talented team in college football, like, wow, holy crap, you lose Marvin Harrison. You're rolling out. He has like a 40-yard scramble, which is like the longest run of his. Like, he never kept the ball on a read option until he played Georgia.
Right. Yeah. And he had the game of
he had the game of his life.
Yeah. Some of the things that I had for him, throws one of the prettiest balls in this draft. Mm-hmm. It's nice. Tight spiral. Really, really good at throwing the guys in stride. They really don't break their stride. Part of it is because he's throwing the fucking.
So this is what I said. Lots of wide receivers for sure. It wasn't like Bryce Young this year. Like last year, Bryce Young had great guys. Yeah.
So let's just
go over. But this is Olave, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, first round pick, top 5 pick, Jackson Smith and Jigma.
Who's gonna be a first round pick?
Abuka, who's really good too. I like him. Yeah. I like all these guys. Yeah. And it's just like, holy crap, these guys could open. Now the thing is, it's like. Against Michigan, for instance. I think they lost this game.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not creating. You're just sitting back there. Yeah. You're sitting back there. He's got 2 of the best tackles in the NFL draft on his team, which is nice. So it's not always going to be like that in the NFL, especially if you go to Carolina. They got 1 decent tackle, maybe 2 if you consider Taylor Moton that good. But you're going to have to play like Georgia every game. But I think he's capable of that because sometimes, it's like we saw with Justin Herbert. It's like, why aren't you running more in college? You're a good athlete. You just sit back there and you pat the ball because I guess maybe in their head they think, I can beat everyone with my arm. But sometimes in today's NFL especially, you got to beat them with your feet a little bit. And it can loosen up a defense. Hey, does Patrick Mahomes just beat the Eagles with his arm?
No.
Beat him with his feet too.
With his feet, man.
And that's the stuff that breaks defenses' backs. There's nothing worse, and I know you've seen this because you're in the same division as the Chiefs, as 3rd and 18. And then Patrick Mahomes just like, all right, I'm just going to run for it. And
well, I see it firsthand because a guy like Derek Carr, they're like, I don't think he wants to run, but he can run. That's the thing. And you kind of see that in CJ Stroud. It's like, dude, use that athleticism. It could be deadly. We know we're not going to call you Vince Young. We're not going to be like, he doesn't want to pass. Maybe it's a film thing, trying to get his draft stock up. I hope that is. But to me, he's most definitely the number 2 quarterback. I do think it's a large enough gap to not take him number 1 and not have it as a discussion. I really like the kid, but to me, it's not to the point where it's like, RIP like Dwayne Haskins or even a guy like Justin Fields in the past with Ohio State guys.
He hasn't seemed to got any of that, and maybe that's Fields from last year kind of riding the ship a little. I don't know.
No, it's warranted because he makes reads. It's not the offense.
Well, no, I'm saying he hasn't got that Ohio State, like they haven't been like, he's Ohio State quarterback, can't trust him.
No, because it shows up on film.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm just shocked that he hasn't because Justin Fields, he didn't always make the reads, but he got a lot of unjust hate, I felt like, coming out of the draft.
Most definitely. But one thing with him, like we brought up, the talent, and to me, the time in the pocket that he had. There'll be times where he had all day, and I'm like, that's cool. How do you evaluate that?
Yeah. But sometimes too, when it's like a clean pocket, he just like, let me just check it down real quick, which I kind of like because that'll transfer to the NFL. But sometimes it's like, hey, when you got that much time, just pat the ball a little bit. Let's see what we can get. Like,
so with the long time, he stares down receivers at times. Obviously,
hey, I'd stare down Marvin Harrison
Me
Jr.
too.
I would stare him down.
literally, I had that thought. I was like, I would stare him down too. But to sum it all up, the whole Ohio State offense scares me, and how much can you put in him with all the big numbers? Because part of it is his numbers are insane from a completion standpoint, touchdowns. Like, I think he has one of the best touchdown to interception ratios.
I like the kind of windows he'll throw the ball into. He doesn't always put the ball in harm's way, which I like, because you don't want to see that from a young quarterback, because sometimes that's a bad habit. Jameis Winston, for instance. But what I did like one is the ball placement's really good. He can throw into the tight windows. And like you said, against Georgia, against pressure, against some blitzes, he played out of his mind. And I don't think Bryce Young, the year before, he was in the same situation. And yeah, hey, look what happened to Bryce Young. He lost Jameson Williams. Guess who Ohio State lost? Marvin Harrison Jr. Bryce Young kind of didn't step up against Georgia, and I guess it was a little bit more talented of a team. I will say that. Yeah. But CJ Stroud didn't. CJ Stroud gave them a position to win, and the kicker was like, hold on, let me miss this by 25 yards. Blair Walsh this thing.
It's funny how like Justin Fields is like the same situation, like had the game of his life in the playoffs.
100% against Clemson, right?
Yeah. My comp for him is kind of funny. Jason Campbell with legs, obviously.
Jason Campbell. I thought like his best case, he's kind of like a Joe Burrow. Best case, and that's hard to be. I think because he doesn't have the pocket manipulation, but that's the best case. Other than that, I don't know who to say. I couldn't really think of a good comp for him.
I would Jason Campbell. I thought Jason Campbell was solid, dude. And you know what? He had
Raider bias again.
He had better legs than people thought.
He did. He just didn't use them that much.
If he played in today's game, you would see more athleticism.
He has kind of a blend of move. Like he has the potential to move in the pocket more than he does, but he doesn't. That's what kind of.
So you have him at 1.
I have him at 1, and I don't think it's close to me.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I said, in my
you're the Panthers. You're picking him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.